Alright, hello ladies and gents. This is only the 5th time I've tried to record this, and so no big deal. But Evan, in his extremely nice yet very aggressive nature, asked me to put this PowerPoint together. It will obviously be the most invigorating PowerPoint you will see and hear because it is all about data collection. But we will talk about why that's important. And as you will see, this will be crucial for the success of our program. So let's get started. And a little footnote before we get started, actually, I'd like to apologize due to the fact that I will just mostly be reading the PowerPoint, which I know all of you are capable of doing, but hopefully my soft voice and handful of jokes about Evan will help. So first, let's talk about our objectives. We want to describe the process to gather aggregate data to guide health and wellness programs, understand proof of concept and cost justification, view and track trends, prioritize interventions, and measure our interventions on effectiveness. Salt Lake City will be using the holistic approach, and for those of you who don't know what holistic means, aka Evan, it's characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole. So we need the parts, all the parts, in order to get the whole picture, which is what we're going to try and do in data collection. So with proper data and information, we will be able to track trends and at some point implement a plan to mitigate injuries based on those trends, thus minimizing the impact of a lifetime of service. We'll be able to save the department money, which therefore could potentially go towards us as employees in an indirect way in the future. So we will be collecting aggregate data, which means no personal data will be used, and the data will not be used for punitive measures. It will not be used to punish anyone, to call anyone out. It's strictly to help and for the data. Workers' comp costs, type of injury, these are things we'll be collecting. Information from fiscal management, like how much are we spending. We'll get information from Peak Fitness, and again, it's aggregate data. It's just number of people that passed, failed on certain aspects of the test, and then we'll be collecting other specific points of data per NFPA 1582. The workers' comp categories that we'll be looking at, where did the injury occur? Was it at TPT, on a call, exercising, which I clearly spelt wrong, so that's fantastic. Training and or daily miscellaneous activities. And I have a pie chart later on to kind of show you what that looks like the last 3 years. We'll be collecting the type of injury. So was it a musculoskeletal injury, head, neck, shoulder, back, hip, etc. An exposure injury, heat exposure, respiratory, did you get a needle stick, exposed to a contagious patient, things such as that. And then one I think that is extremely important is our mental health. We'll be collecting that data too, and again, it will not be associated to an individual. Your information will be safe. It's just numbers. The financial data, we'll want to know the costs associated with on-duty injuries, short-term, long-term, how much those cost, and then the amount paid to cover those people while they were out. Our CFC intervention, so showing cost justification through time spent and interventions provided. So number of hours spent assisting the individual, resources delivered, general costs, not including the CFC's pay. These will be some of the things that we collect too. So NFPA 1582 gives us some questionnaires that can be used to collect specific data points, such as fatigue management. So there's the Epworth Sleepiness Scale, there's the Berlin Sleep Questionnaire, and I sense that sleep deprivation is going to be a huge factor in what we see and do, and the data we want to collect And it's coming out showing the importance of sleep. So that'll be interesting to see. Mental health questions, so screens for PTSD, and then questionnaires for depressive disorders. And then Evan wrote a bunch of letters and numbers here. So how will this benefit us? Our data will provide a direction for a productive approach. We will be able to reevaluate and measure the effectiveness of our interventions made. We can prioritize what areas require more attention, less attention. We will be able to show proof of concept and the cost justification, how the city and the department can save money. But more importantly, we want our guys healthy. Here's some pie charts that show the number of on-the-job injuries and the area of the musculoskeletal injuries. And this is in the last 3 years. So you can see on the job, the majority of the on-the-job injuries are on calls, where exercise and drill ground take up most of the remainder, and TPT has a small amount, but still a significant amount. Area of musculoskeletal injuries, as you can see, the back and core make up almost half of the injuries, while ankle, shoulder, and knee are fairly even and make up the remainder of it. Grant funding, just a little side note we wanted to put in. So gathering data to describe a specific need will be critical to receiving grant support. So our data will be involved in hopefully getting grant funding, development of a budget, outlining the specific programs that would address a need, anything like that. And I know all of you guys are itching to find out more about grants, so I have conveniently put in the website that you can go read up all about it. So the cost justification, the how. So outline programs or needs required meeting the established goals. So committees, consortiums, contracts, etc. The what, a clear statement of the behavior changes, results expected. The when, under what circumstances and what time will the tasks be completed? Our action, move on to defining the tasks associated with each objective. Benchmarks, use baseline measurements to start and will be realistic. How and when will you check in and see how the program is going, good things, bad things, and possible changes for the future. So we'll be starting at the bottom and moving our way up. It's not going to be anything crazy. Okay. The measures. In what way will you measure the program's progress? Surveys, statistics measured against available baseline data, which is what we will be doing in data collection. We will be measuring the data, viewing trends, and measuring them against other data we've had and how it changes through time. The reports. When and how will you report the changes which are happening and the areas for improvement? How will this be spread and to whom? To your crews, to other fire departments, national office holders, published. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Where are we going from here? So as we get rolling with the Fit to Respond, Fit to Retire program, the data collection will give us the cost justification needed to increase our effectiveness. This will allow us to fulfill our mission of reducing the impact of a lifetime of service on Salt Lake City firefighters and their families. As the controllable factors are controlled, each firefighter's capacity to create a positive impact with the community will increase. So ultimately, this is good for everyone, the citizens, the firefighters, and our families, and the city.